Okay, folks, let me just go grab some water for myself, and we'll get rolling. Yeah, let's get that going. Okay. Greetings, folks. Welcome back to MicroCinema 4K, the highest quality live stream microscopy in the world. And yeah, how you doing? Hope you're all right. We skipped a week. I skipped a week. Some of you probably experienced a week. But we're back. It's December. Getting into the cold months. We'll see what that means for our little critters. But anyway, today we do have some plenty of critters to look at. So yeah, today I went out to a little tiny spring called Santa Teresa Spring. It's probably not something anybody has ever heard of outside of like kind of just living in the South Bay itself. And but it's a nice little spring, and kind of an interesting thing since a lot of our waterways in California are all like man-made stuff. It's all like reservoirs, and like all the creeks are just being fed by those reservoirs. This is an actual like bona fide spring that the apparently the Ohlone Indians used to use as a water source back before colonization. And then I've also got just another sample from my local creek. We can check that out. And so what I did today is I made 2 slides kind of with my bespoke method of mouth pipetting out onto the slides. And then I have a few more where I just like, I got a bunch of kind of detritus and just squirted it on the slide with the hopes of finding some interesting stuff kind of in the detritus. And there's, I think in the winter there's going to be less vegetation and like algae and whatnot kind of suspended in the water, and so I might start looking more into like the dirt and the gunk. But yeah, I've already I have kind of taken a brief look at some of those slides. I've seen some stuff I definitely want to look at more closely, and so we'll start today with our sample from the Santa Teresa Spring, and yeah, and then we'll just we'll roll from there. So I'll put myself away, and we can get started. And hello, Marcos. Good to see you here. Sure, we'll get some more people filing in soon enough. Oh, actually, hold on. Before I put myself away, I did want to make a couple updates about the channel. One is, so a while back, I reached kind of like the first stage of YouTube partnership, which kind of allowed, it unlocked basically like, I don't know, you guys can like pay for super chats or whatever. I don't know if I don't think I turned that on. Maybe I did. No, I turned that on, but and then the other thing was like memberships, and I don't have any like membership benefits lined up, so I'm not going to like try to make people get memberships or anything. But recently I actually got to like the next tier of YouTube partnership, which means I now can get like ad revenue. You know, I think I've said this in the past, but like I will minimize ads as much as humanly possible. Some of them I cannot get rid of. Like essentially, just you'll get like the same ads, but now I get a portion of the revenue from those ads. It's not going to be much, probably ever. Realistically, like I think you have to get like tens and tens of thousands of views to just even get like barely meaningful income. But the other thing is that Twitch kind of pushed this like subtle little update to their terms and conditions. For a while, Twitch had been that you could only simultaneously stream on platforms that didn't like directly compete with them, which excluded YouTube Live. They recently amended that to where you can simultaneously stream. So that's something I'm very interested in doing. I know I've got a lot of folks that are, you know, pretty much just on Twitch. Every time I do a Twitch stream, like people are like, "Oh my God, you're back!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been back. I should be subscribed to my YouTube." But anyway, hopefully, maybe even like as early as next week, we'll be trying to do some like dual YouTube Twitch streams, which could be really fun. And the way I'm thinking of doing that is basically to have kind of two versions of the stream. One is the more clean feed that is like MicroCinema 4K, where I'm only here at like the beginning and then I go away, and it's just a nice 4K view. And then the Twitch might be more of like a classic kind of Twitch with me in the bottom corner. So maybe a way for me to be active on both platforms simultaneously. So anyway, sorry, that was really long-winded. I just wanted to get that out there. And yeah, now we'll get going for real. So yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, and thank you so much, by the way, for getting me to the YouTube partnership and all that. Yeah, so let's get going here. Right now, we've got our Santa Teresa spring sample, and you've probably seen a lot of little critters swimming around in this. And right now we're doing dark field, and I've got the 4x objective. So the stuff you're seeing on here, like this silhouette here, is actually pretty large. And I'm interested. See, at first glance, this is an interesting sample. I see a lot of these kind of long, slender silhouettes. And I don't know, at first glance, it looks like a Spirosomum, and it might be, but like also, it doesn't look quite right for that. Yeah, I don't know. So it's got, I noticed it seems like there's several different kinds of these like these ciliates in here, these long slender ciliates. It's almost kind of hard to tell which end is which with this one. Like that almost looks like a mouth on the others, but this has to be the adoral zone of membranelles, the AZM here up at the top. So maybe just some kind of Spirostomum or Spirostomum adjacent critter here. Pretty cool. It's a pretty big one. And we've got a rotifer swimming around. This is a nice little species of rotifer here. Deloid rotifer for sure. Pretty good swimmer. Like it's going. Oh, and there's another one, maybe a different species, looks a little larger. And looks like maybe maybe an egg kind of in development there. I don't see any partially or fully formed babies in there. Yeah, and then here's another of these slender ciliates here. Now this looks like a spirosperm. Maybe that other one is. Maybe it's just a really long variety of them. But like this is what I'm more used to, with kind of that blunted back end. But yes, you know, this is this sample here. So just kind of to give you guys an idea of this spring. The spring itself is only around maybe like 20 feet across. Like it's just kind of a big pool, and it's surrounded by trees. And so this had just tons of leaf litter, to like the point where I was sticking my my dipping stick into the spring, into the kind of the leaves, and it was deep. There was like a deep layer of fallen leaves. So most of the stuff you're going to see here is like stuff that's like living in those kind of decaying leaf litter piles in the spring. We should have here a few more, and then I think it was, I can't remember if it was this one, it was this slide or the other one. There's one ciliate in particular that I was like very keen on getting a view of. This is funny, my stage is like a little sticky, and I think it's just because it's been cooler, and maybe because I didn't drive it last week, but I kind of gotta give it an Italian tune-up here. But yeah, so just a lot of detritus around here. Could be more. There's here. Ooh, look at that! Hey, well, this is a common site for us here. This is Stentor caeruleus. Always fun to see. Hey, Teeny, good to see ya. Welcome in. The Stentor caeruleus in dark field, I have found tend to take on kind of a purplish hue. Let's see, we can try going to, maybe I'll put in my my other condenser here, and we'll go to bright field first. Let's get that out of there. Ooh. Yeah. This one looks pretty darn blue. Pretty darn blue. Okay, and then I'll pull this out. And I gotta kind of find my curler here and walk this back into place. There we go. Bring that up right here. And then we'll need to maybe slap an ND filter on here. Excellent. And there we go. Got a nice bright field here. Bring in that. And go up again. Yeah, you know, pretty good, pretty nice blue on the Stentor here. Let's see, let's drop this by 1. And then let's just check this. Okay. Yeah, so again, this is bright field. And we can see those little, it's interesting, kind of the macronucleus chain seems to be kind of clumped up in this one. So these like, these things here that kind of look like little eggs or something, that's the macronucleus. But usually it's like kind of a long string, and this one that they seem to be kind of tangled up or something, which is a little odd, unusual, for based on the stentor that I've seen in the past. I'm gonna go ahead and insert my DIC slider here. Side down, there we go. And yeah, we'll take a look in DIC. Open that up. Oh, and let's this, yeah, it needs to be changed. There we go. Wow. I'm getting like really strong contrast modulation on this thing. Interesting. Go to 20x here. I think right about there is where I usually have it, and then we'll just bring this down in like that. Oh, that's interesting too. These look like oh gosh, like something cysts, extrusions from other ciliates. Yeah, that's just a nice stentor caeruleus here. Oop, there's a little euglenid there. Hey, the bobsled, welcome in. Yeah, I feel like something's a little off with my setup today. I don't know what it might be. I don't know. Usually when something is off, I eventually figure it out. But yeah, stentor caeruleus, you know, it's funny, like I remember, you know, the first time I ever saw stentor caeruleus, first time I ever knew that existed was on when Journey of the Microcosmos did an episode about them. And I always was like, oh my god, like what a amazing, it's blue, you know, it's big, like what a crazy animal, or well, not an animal, crazy protist, you know, I hope I see one someday. And then like I would say around here in most of my bodies of water, stentor caeruleus is like a pretty common find. It's a really seems to be a prolific and cosmopolitan protist, and obviously pretty noticeable. Oh, look at that, we've got a paramecium here. Speaking of common cosmopolitan protists. I don't think I've ever seen a stentor eat another ciliate, and I don't think this paramecium is in any kind of danger either. Always fun to see these things interact. Even if they're not really aware of each other's existence. Alright, we'll go back to NX here. It's the other thing I should check. I'm gonna make sure my DIC is set up correctly here. There's a polarizer on the bottom that I can tune I just want to make sure that this dark fringe is as dark as it goes. That's where we want it to be. And let's open this bad boy up. Okay, great. And let's see what else we got. Oh yes, here is one of our large. Oh, this is really interesting. Look at the. That is not normal for the Spirosomum that I am familiar with. This thing has like those clear cilia. It almost looks like a couple of bands of cilia. I don't know if it's covered in them. But I don't really remember seeing that on most of the most times I've seen Spirostomum. This thing seems like it's like a little shaggier than I'm accustomed to. Interesting. Oh, let's see, that might be, no, it's kind of. And of course, DIC, always good for cilia. There's another interesting little ciliate just hanging out down there. And then the other thing I noticed too, there's not too many diatoms. Oh, hey, look at this. We have another Stentor Coruleus and what looks to be a Frontonia. Stentor's a little smaller than the other one. Oh, yay! And got this bad boy here. Turn that down a little, maybe turn it up like that. So I remember the first time I saw one of these, it took me a long time to figure out what it was. And yeah, so it is a worm, and I believe it does belong, generally speaking, to the flatworms. But this is a worm in the, I guess, I'm not sure if it's a family. I think it's a family called Catenulidae. And the catenulid worms are interesting because they sort of exist as something called a zooid. So zooids are creatures which are essentially like linked together copies of the same organism. There's like so there are a bunch of individual organisms that are all linked together. And so when you see these catenulid worms, and they're pretty common. So if you look at pond water on a regular basis, you'll probably run into these. One key feature is this little spherical inclusion. Pretty distinctive up near kind of that kind of first segment there. And then there's like a long segment, and then you see that there's another segment here after the long segment with another one of those. And then the long segment, and another segment with the feature, long segment. I think, yeah, there's another one here, so maybe there's another kind of split happening here. And so basically, like, This is like 1, 2, 3, 4 worms, 4 individuals that are all just kind of like permanently, like, well, not permanently, they're all linked together. And so I think it's kind of different than like a lot of worms will divide themselves to reproduce, but the catenulid worms kind of like form these long chains of like multiple individuals. So I think like if you kind of, I don't know, cut the head off of this thing, then the others would probably split away or something. I'm gonna see if I can figure out if I can remember what the that little sphere is called. Let's see if I can find I found it before, but ooh, yeah, there's a nice silly. It's been eating some good stuff. Yeah, I've always enjoyed the catenulid worms. They're usually up to something and pretty curious to look at. Ah, man. That's a... Got our stinter in the view now. And you can see the stinter has been eaten, you know, like there's a few like small diatoms in there. But it seems like there's not a ton. This is actually only the second time I've ever sampled from this spring. And the first time I found a bunch of chrysophytes. Malamonis. I haven't seen one of those just yet. Absolutely could be a seasonal kind of thing. Oh, we do have a little evaporation, but I think that's fine. We'll let it go for a little while. There's our catenulid here. We are at 10x, by the way. 10x. So yeah, okay, I keep going. Yeah, this thing is odd. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is the front over here. And we got a little cyanobacteria there. And shorter spirostomum. It's kind of an interesting little thingy there. And kind of like there's almost like bacteria in there. There's like individual little bacteria or something. It's like a little bacteria colony. Let's see, so it is, I think it's right under the cover glass. Should be able to put my 40x on it. Let's get this on. I'll adjust the exposure in a second here. And then bring this down. Oh, let's zoom back out a little bit. Oh, let's zoom in. Yeah. Just an interesting little spherical conclusion. Jiggly, but hard to tell what all is going on in there. Okay. Let's go back to the 10x here. Why does this look unusually dark? It doesn't. Something silly. Something silly is going on here. That's normal. There we go. That's all there was. Just had my polarizer not quite in perfect position. Another paramecium. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, here's a classic. It's been a while since we had one of these on the stream. So this is Rhodaria neptunia. This would be like Neptune's rotifer. These are always pretty fun to watch. A pretty big specimen too. So Rhodaria neptunia is always very easy to pick out when you see it, because it has this huge telescopic foot. And you can see it's shrinking down here, but it'll probably extend on us a little bit here. We watch long enough. Oh, hey, look at this. And this Neptunia is pregnant. So you can see right here, 2 red eyes of the baby rotifer inside. There is the mastax of the baby. There's another little rotifer there. But yeah, Rhodaria neptunia with this long telescopic foot that ends in these like 3 little toes here, and then it's got these 2 little spines that kind of poke out like that. So I've always assumed that the reason this is called Neptunia is because of Neptune's trident. So it's got a long telescopic foot that ends in 3 prongs. A pretty solid name. Definitely not the worst I've ever heard. And let's see, we've got drinking away from us. We can see it's got a little dorsal antenna. There, that's the little doodad with hairs coming out of it. Yeah, now it's like totally gone back into its totally compactified now. Well, I wonder if it'll give us a nice long extension. They're fun to watch when they move around. I think there might be another one on this slide too. You know, when you're doing your like pipetting, you're never like 100% sure you're getting stuff transferring over. Sometimes stuff comes out before you pull the pipette out of the petri dish. Sometimes stuff sticks inside of the pipette, so... Oh, there it goes. Backing up on it. I just think it's so neat though. Like there's this, you know, this is like a real mechanism here. And you just see it stretching out and go back in. And I've always assumed, like my theory on how these things on how this is supposed to work is that like it can shoot its foot sort of into like muck, and like when it shoots its foot out, like those prongs kind of spread out, and you see those two like mini prongs also deploy. And so I feel like the idea is basically that it like can sort of jam its foot into some muck, and sort of when the toes deploy and all that, it can kind of anchor there, and then just sort of float around and do rotifer things, all attached to the muck. Yeah, really fun rotifers to come across. Yeah, this thing's pretty large too for one of these. Okay, those are fun to watch. Okay. Yeah, let's keep poking around on this slide a little bit more. And there's our Ventriculius again. And we'll just see if we got any other critters popping up we may have missed. And if not, we will get on to the next slide. Catanilla worm. Little ciliate. What are those? Yeah, just a nice rotifer here. It's kind of like a textbook rotifer here. Like when you pull up the search like rotifer anatomy, it's like this is usually what you see. Is this specific rotifer here, which is it like rotaria or something? It's like, I want to say it has like kind of a generic name. Okay, well, I'm feeling pretty good about seeing stuff on this slide. We more or less saw what there is to see. So, yeah, let's go ahead. We'll switch to a slide from the local creek. And this is a little exciting for me. I think we'll see. I think we got something new on this one. The first for the channel, perhaps. Make sure this is going good. Yeah, hey, look at that. Whoa, it looks great. Whoa. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so intensely colored. Hey, knock it off, Windows. Oh, Windows updates, give me a break. Yeah, here we go. Gosh, well, I'm now blanking on the name of this. I know what this is. No, now I'm not. I'm no longer blanking on the name. This is Cynura. And this is a little colonial algae, a little flagellated colonial algae. And this is the first time I've ever actually seen it with a microscope. I've seen it on Journey to the Microcosmos, had an episode about these. But yeah, this is the first time I've got one, so I'm pretty stoked on that. Wow, they're so cool. One thing, so this one can get confused with another flagellated organism called Anthophisa, which I've gotten numerous times, and does look kind of superficially similar. But Anthophisa does not have this wonderful, wonderful gold color. And it's maybe a little less tumbly too. This one's really, really active and dynamic here. I'm gonna try the 40X here. Don't run away from me. Got a little rotifer there. Yeah, these things are cool. So this is with the 40X right now. Wow. It's so like the other. It's interesting. Like you get like the cross section effect very dramatically with this one, as it's tumbling around. You can see the flagella every now and then when I get the flagella when we kind of get halfway through it, you can see this flagella just going crazy. And this thing just like tumbles around. I'm assuming I would guess this motion is like more or less random. I don't think that, wouldn't imagine that it's terribly coordinated. That would be interesting to see, like if you put this, in this organism like in an experiment and see if it can like reliably like swim towards light or something. Wow. It's like a perfect little organism. This is so cool. I'm so happy that we finally got Cynura. That's a big one because a lot of people kind of like Cynura is popular enough that like there's a little one. People know about them kind of when they're like you're looking around in like microscopy books and whatnot. You'll see Cynura. I've been kind of waiting. I've been anticipating that someday I will come across Cynura. That day is today. Oh, they're real pretty though. Gosh, I really wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting them to be like so dramatically golden. Wow. Oh, they're real nice. They're real pretty. I'm gonna take a moment here. And take a moment. Okay, thank you everybody. I always like to, whenever I see something new, I like to actually take a second and look through the eyepieces just to directly observe that. Wow, that's so cool. I love the flagella too. The flagella are just like, they're real. Like some flagellates kind of have like more like straight flagella that just kind of swoosh back and forth, and these have like, the flagella are just like going crazy. They got like little, look like little sine waves or something. Ah man, these are fun. I know that Cynura can potentially, cause blooms, and so like sometimes you can come across water that is very like golden in color and stinky, and you'll find it's just like full of Cynura, and that's definitely not the case when I went to go collect. I didn't notice anything odd except for one thing which was weird is because I collect from this creek all the time. There was a distinct like almost like chlorine kind of chemical smell to the point where I was wondering, like, I know this creek is like part of our municipal waterworks, and so maybe they were treating it or something. It was kind of weird. I was a little uncertain of what I was going to find, so maybe they're treating it for Cynura. Maybe they don't want a Cynura bloom. Maybe they're treating it with Cynura. I don't know. I don't know anything. Except that these are fun. These are fun to watch. Well, there should be some other stuff in here too, if I recall correctly. A little rotifer there. A little diatom. That's the other thing I noticed too, which is like normally I get a fair amount of diatoms in this creek, especially Basilaria, which is like I almost always find. But I haven't seen any indications of that so far, and like even when I was looking at the petri dish, so I don't know if diatoms are like seasonal or what. It's always hard to say. But I guess anything that's photosynthetic, you should assume that there's some amount of like seasonality to it and has some cycle. Oh yeah, I actually got Vaseline on the top of this cover glass here. Kind of interesting to look at. Want to make sure we don't use any lenses that get too close to the cover glass. Rotifer going crazy. Okay. It looks like some other kind of it's like a dinoflagellate maybe, kind of golden algae. Oh yeah, that's one of the, wow, this thing is wow, this is hopped up on caffeine or something, this little rotifer here. One of these kind of grubby rotifers. This thing is it's funny to watch. Nope. And hey, yep, just like I said before, Stentor Caeruleus, always around. So here's another Stentor Caeruleus here. This one's looking, this is interesting actually. Look, it's got, so it's got one AZM here. It's like the main AZM. And then it looks like this one's actually growing like a second AZM. So maybe this one's in the process of splitting. Or it could have gone through like some trauma or something. It could have been like, this could be kind of like a defect in how it was putting itself together. I have seen Stentor Caeruleus in the process of mitosis before, and it didn't look like this. It looked kind of like two trumpets, like one trumpet growing out of the other, almost like the way like hydras split. So this looks a little odd. And again, this is what I'm referring to here, is this little mini AZM. It's just kind of stuck on it here. Not part of the normal cilia, the motility cilia. And again, these ciliates, they usually have, or they often have these like large kind of mouth apparatuses lined with cilia, and the name of that, just generally speaking, is the adoral, so it looks like adoral, but it's adoral zone of membranelles. And the membranelles in this case are cilia. Then adoral just means near the mouth. So just an area near the mouth with a bunch of membranelles. And you'll see that in literature if you're ever like looking at like ciliate stuff, right? White papers on ciliates and stuff. You'll see like the abbreviation AZM a lot, and that's all that means. Here, there. I wonder how the Cynura reproduce. Like, does one split off and then it just splits and splits and splits until you get more? Or what? This is a little amoeboid organism. Where are you? Maybe I'll get the 40x on this. Go like right here. Yeah, check this bad boy out. So this is, it looks like, yeah, some kind of heliozoan. See the it's not as I think there's not as many Axopodia around this one. And there's a couple of little seems to be accosted by some very tiny little flagellates here. I wonder if those are, they're kind of underneath those. That one kind of looks like it's almost, I think it's just around it. There's another one. Which it seems like those should be the kinds of things that this thing eats. Oh, did it just poop that out? Is that what that is? Oops, alright. Touchy here. Yeah, it's interesting because it's got this like little core here, or like a very distinct thing, but it looks like it's maybe surrounded by like a bacterial biofilm. Yeah, look at that. You see these little bacteria that are kind of outside of this thing. So maybe this little critter here is eating those bacteria. It's definitely an interesting little amoeba, and you kind of have to wonder, like, okay, is that a symbiotic relationship with those bacteria? Is that sort of a... I've actually seen something similar on rotifers before. There are certain rotifers that have kind of a mucilaginous bacterial armor. And so maybe that's the same idea here. Yeah, kind of a mysterious little amoeboid here. Hey, Sydney, welcome in. You guys can see that there's like a bunch of crud kind of in the background right now. If you ever see that when you're using a microscope, you've got like stuff that's kind of persistent, that stays there when you're moving around. Usually that means there's an issue with your condenser position. So here, if I just move my condenser up to curler, which you won't be able to do on microscopes that aren't curler, but still you can see that all went away. Now it's just dust that's down on the illuminator field lens. That is no longer visible. Oh, this is Frontonia atra. Like it's kind of lysing. It's got some kind of oozing out of itself there. Which is unusual. It's not supposed to be happening. Or maybe it is, I don't know. That's fun. So we got like a little ciliate here. And we got a rotifer. And we got our little Cynera. Oh, these are so cool. I love these. These are just fantastic. Mesmerizing. Like semi-sentient tumbleweed. Or like, oh man, I remember that's a real pull from back in the day. You guys remember, like, you know, I remember when I was a kid, you go to the mall and the toy stores, they would have those like those little balls with like a foxtail or something, or like a weasel tail kind of thing, and the ball would just sort of like randomly tumble around. I think it was just generally supposed to be a toy, not necessarily like, it's kind of like a pet toy or something. And these kind of remind me of that, the way they move and change direction. There's a nice Cimbella diatom, pretty small one. swirling away. Oh yeah, I do want to see. I think they're. Let's see. Was it down here? I might want to. Yeah, I'm gonna go to. We'll go to Brightfield. Let's take that out. Let's go down here. See if I can get. Okay. I remember there was a particular ciliate of interest to me on this slide. And I wanted to say, ooh, hey, look at that. We got a nice stentor here. We can come back to that. There's another stentor. Let me close my iris down a little bit so it's a little clearer. Stentor. We got a copepod. These things, by the way, are so difficult. Specifically, these ones are like impossible to pipette up deliberately. Like I can do it accidentally, but if you're like trying to chase one, target one individual, it is very difficult. But I want to keep searching around. There was a ciliate. It should be pretty large, if I recall correctly. And it had on the interior of it. Oh, I remember this. There's like a little insect larva. Come back to that too. That's a nice stentor. Nice like trumpet shaped stentor. But yeah, there was a ciliate that just had a real odd look to it. The interior was like pretty opaque, and I'm not sure if I had seen it before. So I do want to find that one. I do think it was on this slide. Pretty certain on that. Hopefully not the last one. I should have done this with the last one too. Just give it like an overview before I left. I mean, I can always pull it back out. Okay, we'll give it one more, like once over here. And if we don't see it yet, we'll just go and check out some of the others. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is one of these. It's one of these predatory ones. Yeah, we watched one of these. We did a Twitch stream a while back. I think we watched one of these. Yeah, this is like in Dileptus or something similar to Dileptus. I remember we were watching it for a long time, like expecting it to eat something. Yeah, because when I've seen Dileptus in the past, they're usually pretty hungry and pretty successful at hunting. Yeah, that's what we got here. Oh, hey, Eric. Eric's in the chat. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yeah, let's go to DIC. Let's see, we're on 20x right now. Boom. Bop. Yeah. So yeah, with Dileptus, they'll have kind of this kind of chubby body, and then the front they'll have this, this little appendage, which is almost like a singular tentacle. And then the other thing just to look for, because there's a few ciliates that have something similar to that going on. The thing you really want to look for with Dileptus is the mouth at the base of the tentacle. Which I think I've seen on this one. It's usually pretty clear. I think it's right there. Yeah. I think if it turns over a little bit, we might be able to see it more clearly. It's just kind of out of reach. I wonder what this thing's been eating. Got some kind of golden stuff inside of it. Rotifer? I don't know. This rotifer has no chill. It is not afraid of the Dileptus. Dileptus, as far as I know, they primarily eat other ciliates. And we have seen that before. That was a long time ago. Before it was on Twitch. That was before what I was talking about before. There's one of my old Twitch clips. We saw Dileptus preying on ciliates. It was pretty cool. That was a fun stream. But it seems to be a little unreliable. And this one, there's not a ton of ciliates in this sample, and this Dileptus really isn't exploring too much, so I'm not gonna necessarily rely on this thing to eat something. We'll go check out our stinter we saw before. Nice rotifer here. Yeah, here's that insect larva. Kind of an odd looking one. Like a small little mosquito larva or something. Do you remember when I picked this one up, like just thinking, oh yeah, that's like rather small. Whoa. Yeah, it's moving around, like it's got room to move, so it's not like squished or anything. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I necessarily recognize this as sort of like a normal. Like, I'm familiar with a lot of different larvae. I got the chironomids and the mosquito larvae, and the midge fly larvae. That's another one. It's like, I see a lot of them. But this one is a little unique. I'm guessing these red kind of kidney bean shapes there. That's like an eye, 2 eyes, 1 eye. Looks like that's all there is. Is there another one somewhere? I see another one. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on with the mouth here. But of course, one of the things that you should always be thinking when you see an insect larva is, I should check it out under polarized light. often. It's pretty cool. Oh, open. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. So you can see interesting anatomy in here. These sort of kind of like fishbone structures in there, I believe, is musculature of some kind. So just this, make sure it's as dark as it's going to go. There, perfect. That's kind of odd. Is that maybe that's yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, interesting. It doesn't have crazy polarization response, but there's definitely like musculature in there. Let's see if we give it a little tap and see if it'll squirm for us here. The whatever these little like bristles are, they're pretty optically active. Cynera, not a whole lot. Whoa. Oh no, I just kicked up something. Oh, that's cool though. Yeah, that's interesting. When they go in front of something that's reacting to the polarized light, they kind of shine. Cool. Okay, well, our little guy here isn't up to a whole lot. Okay, we kind of see better what was going on with this thing. Back to this is 10x here. Get less of that blue gauge. Poke around a little bit more. I think there's something very green there. Let's see if we can find that. Yeah, there's that. Or one of the stentor that we saw. Not a ton of polarization response out of the stentor itself, but some of the stuff it's been eating, definitely. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll go back to DIC here. Right. Go. Yeah, let's see here on 10x. Yeah. Oh, this stentor decided to swim away. A lot of like smaller algae in it. You know, I guess this is a good example of like why you might want to be a Cynera, because this stentor likes to eat algae, and certainly eating a bunch of small little algae, but the stentor does not have a big enough mouth to wrangle these Cynera colonies, which are also like motile, so they can kind of like run away a little bit. So, you know, good defense against getting eaten is just being too big to eat. Let's see, there's another stenter down here. Oh yeah, there's our little copepod friend here. Take a look at it. Nice. It's nice, you know, it's just kind of like nicely posed here and staying still. And it's not dead, which is nice. Yeah. These are always fun to look at just because of all the little spines and hairs and whatnot that are just all over these things. And DIC, they show up super well. I mean, this is pretty much like, that's like the specialty of DIC, is making structures like that show up. Interesting, it's got these two little paddle feet back here. I'm sure that has something to do with male versus female. But I don't know enough about copepods and what they get up to say. And I've seen a lot of them. They often drag their eggs around. Let's see, we'll this is the creek. Let's give it a little dab of water here. There we go. Here's a nice little algae, a little flagellated algae there. That's something that a stenter would love to slurp up. Wiggle, wiggle. Go back to 10x here. Ooh, look at that. Is that also Cynera, or is that some other? Maybe that's Cynera? Kind of hard to say because the color is not like quite as intense. It looks maybe more green, and maybe the cells are smaller. It could be a different kind of little colonial microalgae. Well, that's a very active rotifer there. I wonder, you know, because we saw a few streams back, we saw like rotifers that eat Volvox. they're like Volvox specialists. I just kind of wonder if there's like something similar that goes on with Cynura. Are there any like Cynura eating rotifers? That thing just poop. This one's got quite a full belly. Yeah, just something worth noting here of like, I've been going to this creek for years at this point, and still seeing new stuff there. Still haven't seen it all, even just from one source. Just keep that in mind if you're ever feeling like you've seen it all in one pond that you frequent or something like that. That's likely not the case. It's likely if you go there at different times of year or collect slightly different areas or whatnot, that you'll find different stuff. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, there's another enter. Kind of what I was like. I always like seeing the stentor when they're like area. Oh, there's a tiny little colony of Basilaria. Like I said, it's pretty typical for me to like run across Basilaria in this creek, but I haven't seen as many in this sample. Yeah, I was saying I do like seeing the stentor when they're like very trumpety, when they're kind of fully deployed. I remember seeing a few of them on here, but I think maybe when I put that water down, they kind of removed themselves. They're swimming around. There's that Frontonia again. Yeah, look at these little colonies here. They must be Cynura. Just little hunks of Cynura. Maybe that's a one. Maybe that's an individual Cynura right there. Just moving around, maybe. Hard to say. Oh yeah, there's a nice trumpety stentor. Oof. Okay, well, that does it for my specifically prepared slides, but I've got some more here where I just kind of plunked a bunch of stuff down. It's kind of fun watching this thing piece interact. Yeah, I mentioned this before of like I kind of want to try just making some random slides and just seeing if I see stuff that I don't normally get when I more carefully prepare them. So let's move on to, I think this next one should be from the spring again. So here we go. Off this bad boy now. And yeah, you'll see there's a whole lot more junk on these, which was kind of intentional. Maybe pump that up a little bit. There should be some clear areas. What I'll do is I'll put a little bit more water on here. Go. Yeah, and then you can see these things again, which we were seeing all over the place on that first spring water slide. But I do remember, I thought I saw something on this slide when I was looking before. Which is a metapid ciliate. There is somewhere on here. That's a nice big eugleniid there. Little eugleniid. Yeah, so because, you know, the sample that I collected was like, it's like compacted. Ooh, there's a nice gastric. Hey, we like those. You know, there's like lots of leaf litter, like lots of layers of leaf litter, you know, submerged. So I figure, good bet that there will be some like more like anaerobic organisms down in there, kind of in the gunk. And so I was like, oh, maybe we'll see some metapids. And I'm pretty sure I saw one on the slide with my stereoscope. It was hard to tell. So we'll keep an eye out then. But hey, we got a nice gastrix here. Well, hey, gastrix. This is a nice one. Enjoying the detritus. Yeah, we got some little ciliates there. Then we got a nice coleps here. And a cyanobacteria. Ooh, hey, we got a nice euplotes. Like euplotes is generally like considered a low oxygen ciliate, I believe. And I've said before that they often tend to be like one of the last remaining organisms if you keep a jar around for a while. Oh, hey, Thai Microcosmos. Andy's in the chat. Good to see you, man. And there's our Spirostomum again. See, like, this is definitely, that's Spirostomum for sure. I think I've just got more species of Spirostomum than I'm used to. But, okay, let's keep an eye out. Oh, there's a Frontonia there. Wow, what is it? What did it eat? It ate something huge. Look at that. How did it even fit that in there? Is that a testate amoeba? Yeah, I think that's what that is. That's not a thing that I knew could happen. Look at that. I'm pretty sure that that brown thing in there is testate amoeba. Huh. I didn't know anything ate testate amoebas. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Things eat other things, but I did not. It seems, they got like a hard shell. Is that thing just going to be in there forever now? Or how are you going to get rid of that? Seems like it would be cumbersome too to lug around. Interesting. An interaction, or well, evidence of an interaction that I did not know was a thing. That's cool to see, at least. Well, there's some kind of like a vorticella or something. It's kind of on its last legs. Oh, wow, that one's huge. Big old spirostimum snaking through. But yeah, let's keep an eye out for. Maybe we'll go to the 4X. And there's a few cestalids. Paramecium. Gastritrick. Floaties, that thing again. Yeah, and this is just, like I said, this is just from like one drop out of the pipette. You can see this is a pretty, that's a cool testate amoeba, an interesting orientation there. Yeah, wow, this is a kind of a rare sight here, because usually the tests are like flat. So this is like a profile view of a testate amoeba here. Kind of a rare sight. This is the 40X now that I'm using. Let's get this. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Now you can really see the amoeba. Whoa, look at that. You see a pseudopodia, pseudopod coming out. And look at that beautiful formation on that shell. You can see, I think it's kind of turning over now. It's kind of reorienting. Yeah, okay, yeah, so you can see, so now we're looking at it from the bottom, I believe. There's like an orifice down there. Oh, this is cool. It's always fun to see these testate amoebas like really going, but wow, look at that. It really do be an amoeba. Oh, gastritrick. Ooh, the amoeba immediately recoiled back inside of its test there. Wow. Let's see, let's go this way with it. Yeah, we got these like little euglenids here too. Yeah, Andy, I saw you've been putting out some more videos lately. Good to see. I've been real busy with work lately. It's kind of eaten up a little bit, but hoping to kind of get back on track with some videos soon. Oh, what do we got going on up here? Oh, we have a paramecium, which is creating quite a disturbance. As you didn't seem to be here for it. Oh my god, it's Shahab! Yeah, it's been a minute since you were on the stream, Shahab. Good to see you. Yeah, I mentioned this at the beginning, but for those of you that weren't around for the beginning of the stream, well, I'll just mention it again. One thing I do want to try out. So Twitch recently, it was back in August, changed their terms of service, and you are now allowed to simultaneously stream on Twitch and YouTube. So I'm kind of targeting, to do that here not too long. That's something worth noting, especially for you, Andy, if you're interested in doing some streaming, because definitely, YouTube has Twitch beat on quality by a lot. You can't stream in 4K on Twitch, and even if you stream in 1080, you can still stream at a higher quality on YouTube. Yeah, what I've been thinking about is doing like 2 streams. So the nice thing is that especially since I have fiber internet now, it really should not be too performance intensive for me to make a secondary 1080p stream and send that to Twitch. So I'm thinking of kind of in the future of having when I stream, I'll be on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and maybe I'll have my my webcam on the Twitch feed, so it'll be more of like a classic Twitch experience. And then just because I know a lot of folks are, pretty, they're Twitch users, they're not YouTube Live users, so that would be a nice way to serve 2 different audiences. The one thing that's funny is like I can't actually like promote. I can't like direct people to the YouTube stream during the Twitch stream, which is just kind of funny. Like I think I'm allowed to say it. I'm just not allowed to like direct people there. And then I'm not allowed to mix the chats. Essentially, like Twitch chat has to remain distinct from the YouTube chat, which I think is kind of silly. Hopefully they will change that in the future. Like I get that Twitch is like, it's fine. Competition. You don't necessarily want to invite your competition, directly into your service. I understand that, but I think this is another cat-noodle worm. Yeah. I don't know if Twitch has much to worry about from YouTube Live, at least not so far, because Twitch's community experience is like vastly superior, and pretty much anybody will tell you that. Yeah, so we got another cat-noodle worm here, and this is actually from a spring, so it's a different sample. last time. Oh man, I forget what those little that little body is, that little organ, spherical bead inside of them. Okay, yeah, right. I forgot that I had a plan. There was a purpose what I was doing here. So I'm gonna go do my 4x here. And let's drop this down, good amount. And we're gonna look around and see if we can't see. Wait, is that? No, that's a rotifer, right? Yeah, that's a rotifer. We're gonna see if we can find a metapid ciliate in here. That's something I saw, like I've seen them before, but it's been a long time since I've seen one. I don't think I've ever had one on the stream. Teresa, oh my gosh. They're pretty active and they're pretty distinctive, so I do have one. It should be clear. Yeah, this is definitely nice. I'll have to go to this spring more often. Seems like a good place, and there's like so much leaf litter that, you know, you figure there's got to be a lot of nutrients and whatnot for critters to enjoy. And their catanillid worm there, moving through the detritus. There's that fountainhead. Yeah, we'll just kind of keep poking around here. The fountainhead. It's also entirely possible that I didn't see what I thought I saw. But yeah, we'll give it a look anyway. Yeah, there's a nice this big euglenid here. Well, that's something else I learned recently that I guess there was a big change up in the nomenclature for euglenids, and so a lot of stuff that is marked a euglena in Weissner is no longer actually part of the euglena genus. That's an interesting looking ciliate, yeah. I think it's a ciliate. It's just a Euplodes. It looks a little funky, I think. What was that guy? It's like a real stocky Spirostomum or something. Yeah. Yeah, I forget what the new name for euglena. Well, there's still euglenas. They're not like they don't exist anymore, but like a lot of the euglenas now have some other genus name. I'm never sure how like seriously to take taxonomy for some of these things. Like, I know one of the big things that's happening in like taxonomy right now, I mean, it's probably been going on for like decades at this point, but like there's the switch from, you know, your like what I learned in school, which is just like binomial nomenclature stuff, you know, kingdom, order, phylum, whatnot, kind of this hierarchical splitting to clades, which is a little bit different. So I don't know, that could be part of it. I don't know exactly how like clades work or how that changes up nomenclature. Interesting. Well, I haven't been able to find my metaped, which again may or may not exist, may or may not be present on this slide. What's that thing? Is it a Pernema? I think that is what that is. Yeah. Pernema. Eat something that's pretty opaque. Let's go to dark field for a minute, just because we can. Should I use my? Yeah, I'm gonna use my actual dark field condenser for this. 2 seconds. Pop that bad boy in. Boom. Put that down. Right. Actually use an ND filter even for the Rex here. Too exposed. Dial that back a little bit. Something like that's pretty good. Wow. It's neat. Just neat sometimes to take in the vibes. There's a little nematode freaking out. This does actually show the ciliates pretty clearly. Yeah, this thing I think is a rotifer, right? Or is it? No, I think it's no, that's a ciliate, I think, actually. I don't think it's a metaped. It is an interesting one. It's a little different than the I usually see. Flattened. Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to here. Yeah, we'll just continue to cruise around a little bit more here. And if we don't see anything, we'll move on. That's probably how I should have been looking from the beginning, because I'm seeing that these ciliates are like much more clearly contrasted from everything else in dark field here, so excuse me. Gastric trick. cute. Okay, well, maybe I just hallucinated what I thought I saw. Okay, I got another slide from my creek. I'll pull that out and we'll take a look at it. Okay. Go. Yeah, got a little bit of duckweed here. This one I thought this piece of duckweed was actually kind of interesting. Just because the root of this little duckweed here is also like really green, which like is normally not the case. Like the root is normally not so green. And you can see the chloroplasts inside of the root cells. So I don't know what the explanation is for that. But it's an interesting thing to observe and think about. I'm sure somebody out there knows exactly what's going on. Nice cyano. And we'll just kind of quickly give these things a look. I do remember. It's funny what you remember when you're like looking at these slides. I remember this nice little Cimbella frustule here. This is going to be bright. Brace yourselves. Here we are in circular oblique illumination with the 20x objective. And yeah, nice display of Cimbella there. Oh yeah, there's Cynera. Oh, we got a nice Closterium here. Yeah. Closterium, a single-celled algae. You can see the famous crystals jiggling away. Let's go ahead. We'll go back to my GIC condenser here. Tighten that in, and we are at the 20x. There. Bring it up. Oops. I'll get into stuff here. Go. And we'll just bring this down until Is it way out of back? My condenser's maybe not fully set here. That's kind of weird. Don't have to move it that much. What screws going on? Okay, well, anyway. There's our nice Fosterium. Always good to look at these. Let's see. Top. Bottom. Right there. So let's go here. Oops. That into place. That up. And there we go. So we're here with the 40X. Kind of an interesting, it looks a little like it's almost lacy or something. It's like webbing that we're seeing. Oh, and then this is the very top of the cell here. You see there's a bunch of bacteria covering the cell. Look like right here. You can see these little short rod-shaped bacteria. There's the little crystals there. But these bacteria are all over the outside of the cell. Is that what I was seeing? Just but no, there's also just something going on. This doesn't look normal for Clostridium. This webbing there. So something going on with this cell. Something unusual. But darned if I know what's going on. Maybe nobody knows. That is just a weird. The chloroplasts are kind of like shrivelly looking, and then the bacteria. Now, bacteria I've seen on the outside of Clostridium before. I've seen like Clostridium be like swarmed by motile bacteria, so that's not too weird. But yeah, whatever's going on there is weird. But cool that you can see it for sure. That's one thing. All right, back to 20X here. And there goes our Mother Cyanura. I want to look at it. Let's see. Go yeah, and then pull this out, and then pull this in. There's a stentor. it dark field here. Whoa. That's cool. That's really neat looking, actually. Wow. You know, because, yeah. Whoa, like the way, I love the way this thing like blurs. And I think just because of how like there's a lot of like structure to the Cynera, there's a lot of like regular patterning to it, and then like the way that the out of focus stuff blurs, it's just neat. It creates cool effects. Okay, back to the 10x here. You poking around? I wonder what that is. What is that? Huh. Oh, there's a nice, a nice nasalid ciliate here. Full of diatoms. Whoops, no, that was not the one. That was not the play. You, Ian. Let's do this. Wait, why is that? Well, I guess I'm just like super. Yeah. Can't quite. I'm trying to see the. Trying to get the Surtos to show up on this thing. Not quite seeing it. Okay. Back to here. Do X, yeah. Okay, what is that? There's something. Let's see, is that on my condenser? Yes, that is on my condenser. There's a little dust speck or something that must be. There we go. Oops. What is that guy? Oh, that's that same one. And we're in polarized light right now, by the way. You can see a lot of little particles and minerals and whatnot. brightening up. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's something, there's like a little copepod that's getting smushed there. We will apply a little liquid. Come on now. There we go. Oh yeah, the other thing that I've just kind of been casually looking for, because it's been a long time since we like had one, is just like a nice amoeba, just a nice, good old fashioned, squishy like amoeba Proteus or something like that. Been a long time since we had one. I used to find them like pretty regularly. There's that Clostarium. So that's the other another reason why I'm like searching this dirt, essentially, is like try to find that. Try to find a nice amoeba. Digging around in there, rotifer. Okay, well, I think we'll go ahead and just look at our last slide for the night. This is going to be another one from the spring. And yeah, we will just look through this real quick. Oh, there's a nice Frontonia. Sparkly. Pyrostomum. That's a little Gastrotrick down there, and then the Coleps, which always looks super nice and polarized light. I really do. I like how Coleps look in polarized light. Like they're very, like kind of like an ethereal glow to them. That's a very pretty, sparkly Frontonia there. Wow, look at this, very colorful too. Full of sprinkles, sparkles. Very nice. Go back to the thorax. For the most part, seeing kind of like the same stuff that I had been seeing before. A lot of the different ciliates that we've already seen. Let's see. We'll go back to DIC gas. Well, maybe, I don't know. Oh, there's another Neptunia. We didn't look at that's actually, I don't know if I've ever actually looked at Neptunia and polarized light before. Let's do where's my wave flip? There we go. Okay. Let's see what we got. I bet there's something to be seen when it's like extending and whatnot. Like, it's just kind of hard to tell since it's also twisting around so much at the same time. Oh, there's another one. A little bit. Search around in the middle here. And there's my roast mom. Oy, oy. Yeah, I'm tired. No. This is just kind of on its own, very like pretty. But I'm not seeing a whole lot here that we haven't really spent a good amount of time on already this stream. So I think here we're about 2 hours and 15 minutes into the stream. I think it's a pretty good time to what's that? Oh, I see something moving. Is that little testate amoeba there? Yeah, that's what that is. Little guy. But not as cool as the one we saw earlier. So yeah, we will we'll go ahead and call it an evening here. And yeah, like I said, you guys might see some notifications this week as I test out the dual Twitch YouTube stream. I think that could be potentially pretty cool because I usually get more people, even now, even though I don't like stream that much on Twitch anymore, I usually still get more people on there. And so that we might be able to like cross-pollinate a little bit more when I start doing that. And then the other thing that's nice too is I can get rated on Twitch. And that's always fun, brings in some new people. So yeah, hopefully we can get that going by next week. And yeah. Anyway, thanks so much everybody for tuning in as usual. And we will head out for the evening. Have a good one.